For best, most deserving, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. What I do know is undefeated. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. ACC championship game is in the books. It was not necessarily scintillating, but it was a championship for Florida State, and they are looking to play on for bigger and better championships going forward. Seminoles 16, Louisville 6. The Florida State defense is a championship defense, and I believe that they knew tonight. Of course, they knew it up here, but they played like, hey, we've got to take this on because our offense is going to struggle. We are playing with a third-string quarterback. His name is Brock Glenn. He completed 8 of 21 passes for 55 yards, and his play on the field pretty much looked like his stat sheet. It was not pretty in any such way. He threw maybe 2 or 3 balls that really looked like, okay, boom, he belongs like he should be on the field in an ACC game. Championship game, maybe not. ACC game. He was an Elite 11, 21st rated quarterback coming out of high school, 2023 class, according to 247 Sports out of Tennessee. First career start right in the ACC championship game. Storm duck on a safety blitz on the first series, just Brock Glenn had no chance. It was not his issue, did not hold onto the ball too long. It was the offensive line. But at times, he held onto the ball way too long, as you might imagine. And this just repeated itself over and over and over and over. Florida State in its first 4 possessions, 4 punts, 3 total yards. But the defense was a different matter. Jared Verse is one of the best defensive players in the country and has been for the last 2 seasons. He had a sack that forced a punt down to the 9-yard line. There was another play where another fine defender, one of the best in the ACC, Kalen DeLoach, who's made tons of big, huge plays for this Florida State defense this year, broke up a pass that stopped a play action, a 4th and 1 conversion. So while the Florida State offense was going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, the defense was matching Louisville in that regard against a fully functional, staffed Louisville offense with Jack Plummer at quarterback. And I know that he's not a dynamic, great quarterback, but he's played a lot of football and he's thrown for 10,000 yards in college football. So that's what Florida State was up against. 7 punts, and Florida State took Louisville off the field on downs once. So 8 possessions for the Louisville Cardinals, nothing. Brock Glenn, again, 8 for 21, 55 yards. Did throw a nice back shoulder to Johnny Wilson. Perfectly thrown ball on time right there to the sideline. Keon Coleman had a drop that was major. The ball was thrown well. He was downfield. This was a major shot downfield. Also had another ball that do not expect him to catch, but it was a well-thrown ball on the sideline. Tough route all the way to the left sideline from the right hash throw that Keon Coleman could have caught. Actually had his hands on the football, but juggled it and then lost control of the football. That led, though, to a 50-yard drive, and Florida State finally got something going and led 3-0 at halftime. But it was more of a rock fight in the second half as well. Louisville tried to get something going. We know that Jeff Brom is one of the great play callers in college football. He called a flea flicker that wasn't your traditional flea flicker. We're going for the jugular downfield on the seam route or a go route. They set up a screen. So they had the flea flicker, but the offensive lineman swung out. They set up a screen. That helped create some offense. There should have been a pass interference call on Florida State cornerback Renardo Green. But they did get something going. They get a field goal off the flea flicker play and some other downfield plays. Then Florida State finally gets smart. Mike Norvell knows what he's doing. They don't finally get smart. He knows what he's doing. They bring in Lawrence Toafili to jumpstart the offense. Who is he? Well, he's not the 4th-string quarterback. He's a running back. They play the Wildcat. He goes for 73 yards. And Florida State scores the game's only touchdown off the Wildcat. Lawrence Toafili for 73 yards, then the 2-yard touchdown run, and it's 10-3. And did we know it at that point? Well, we could have kind of guessed it. That was game, set, and match. Ben Perry, Louisville cornerback, he could have had an interception. The ball was thrown right to him. It was behind by Glenn again, but he dropped it. There were about 3 or 4 balls that Louisville should have picked off. They did not. Those are the kind of plays that they needed to make, much like Iowa in their game, although this Louisville defense not quite at that ilk. Maurice Turner had a huge run down the left sideline for 41 yards to spark the Louisville offense. But the times that they got close, they bogged down, and the Florida State pass rush was overwhelming. They get the field goal there. As after the 41-yard run, they bogged down 10-6 at this point after the field goal by Louisville. This was the key moment of the game where Louisville could have broken free. They were down 10-6. They've got Florida State stopped inside their own 10. They rushed the punter. They didn't even block the punt. They just mashed the punter. Even before he could get the ball to the foot, they mashed him and got the ball inside the 10-yard line. Jack Plummer threw a corner shot to the tight end, a really good tight end, and Nate Kariski. Had the football for the touchdown, had it in his hands. Tatum Bethune made an exceptional play in coverage to strip it away. Next play, Tatum Bethune, again, this time on the other tight end, who's running an in route, a bit of a in route in the end zone. The ball thrown late and behind, and Bethune-Cookman turns around and intercepts the football. So 2 excellent plays in coverage by Bethune, and that saved Florida State because they kept that 10-6 lead. That was Louisville's golden opportunity because after that they never got close. Florida State tacks on a field goal, and they win it 16-6. Is Florida State one of the 4 best teams in the country? Most people don't believe that's the case. I don't believe that they're one of the 4 best teams in the country. But you know what? Undefeated ACC champs, they have earned their spot in the playoff. That's what the playoff committee needs to decide on Sunday. Leave your comments below. Join us on our call-in show. We have a watch party lined up for the selections on Sunday, so please join us then as well. Right here, best discussion, debate, and analysis at the Voice of College Football.